Welcome back to CircuitMeter Insights, the podcast where energy meets intelligence. Discovering how smart analytics, real-time data, and cutting-edge efficiency solutions are driving the future of sustainability forward. So, plug in, power up, and let's dive in.
Today, we are exploring how channel partners, value-added resellers, system integrators, energy consultants listening to this right now, how you can build highly profitable, scalable service businesses by utilizing CircuitMeter's IoT energy management platform.
Right, and it's a massive shift for anyone in that space.
It really is. And to kind of frame this, I want you to think about how the world's absolute largest tech and cloud giants built those massive ecosystems. I mean, they didn't do it by knocking on every single office door to install software themselves.
I mean, you can only build so high by yourself.
Exactly. They built this robust infrastructure, handed it to third-party partners, and basically said, go build your own enterprise-grade solutions on top of our engine. And CircuitMeter is using that exact proven model to empower partners in the energy intelligence space.
And what's fascinating here is that this isn't just about reselling a piece of hardware. I mean, if you approach it as just selling a meter, you're missing the entire opportunity.
You're leaving so much on the table.
Completely. The research makes it clear that this is a fundamental business model shift. It allows you to move away from those grueling, low-margin transactions and step right into the role of a high-margin, trusted advisor.
Right. But to build that highly profitable business, the underlying technology actually has to cooperate, right? It can't be a bottleneck.
Oh, absolutely. The tech has to get out of its own way.
Yeah, so we need to look at how CircuitMeter's platform is engineered specifically to eliminate operational headaches. We're talking about what the research calls a low-friction solution.
Low friction is really the key term here. The whole sales to installation process is incredibly streamlined.
Okay, let's unpack this, because usually industrial hardware is an absolute nightmare to deploy. I mean, is it really that simple? It sounds like CircuitMeter is treating industrial hardware as almost like a, plug-and-play smart home device.
Well, obviously it's industrial grade, but the deployment philosophy is very similar. The efficiency starts with the customer site requirements sheet, the CSR.
Right, the scoping phase.
Oh, yeah. Brilliantly, the CSR only requires two things. You just need the voltage of the panel and the current transformers, the CTs with their amperages. That's it.
Wait, really? Just the voltage and the CTs?
Just that. You don't need a team of engineers doing a week-long site survey. And the hardware simplicity matches that. The electrician on site literally only has to install the WebMeter 48 unit, connect those CTs, and hook up the voltage.
So they aren't like standing in a dimly lit basement programming IP addresses into a tiny screen.
No, not at all. Because once that WebMeter 48 is powered on, the automated magic happens in the cloud. The circuit monitoring system auto-builds the database directly from that CSR document, and it automatically configures the WebMeter 48 remotely.
That is wild.
Yeah.
But let me push back for a second. Electricians are human, right? What if someone accidentally clamps a CT on backwards? I mean, usually that means a 3-hour drive back to the site just to flip a wire.
And that is exactly where the low-friction design saves your profit margin. The system actually auto-scans the installation wiring.
Auto-scans it. How does it do that?
It utilizes advanced waveform data. So if a CT is backwards or a phase is misaligned, the software recognizes the faulty waveform signature. It flags the issue and corrects the math remotely. No truck roll required.
Oh, wow. So you don't even have to send anyone back out there.
Exactly. And think about why this matters for your bottom line as a channel partner. That low-friction deployment drastically reduces your operational burden.
Because your best engineers aren't stuck doing tech support in a basement.
Right. Instead of wasting hours on-site troubleshooting paperwork or, phase corrections, you immediately shift your focus to consulting and actually adding value.
Which brings us to a huge transition point. Because the technology practically configures itself, it completely changes the dynamic between you, the channel partner, and your end user.
It stops being a transaction and becomes a relationship.
Exactly. The conversation shifts from that one-off equipment sale to an ongoing, really sticky relationship. The equipment sale ends at installation, but that continuous stream of data, that creates permanent engagement.
And the tiered support model is what makes that engagement manageable.
Right. Let's talk about that support structure. Because if you have hundreds of these deployed, You can't handle every single technical glitch.
You don't have to. As a partner, you own the customer relationship entirely. You act as tier 1 support. So when customers have questions about their data or their strategy, they call you.
And what about the deep technical stuff?
That's where CircuitMeter comes in. They operate entirely behind the scenes as tier 2 support. They handle all the complex technical issues, the back-end configurations, those remote phase corrections we mentioned.
So what does this all mean for the partner's brand identity? I mean, if the partner controls the presentation via unlimited dashboards and has super user access, aren't they essentially becoming the permanent face of the client's energy strategy?
You absolutely are. That structure creates immense customer stickiness. You are no longer just a vendor who sold them a meter 3 years ago. You are an embedded part of their operations.
You're the one facilitating those regular quarterly reviews and ongoing demand analysis.
Exactly. You are the trusted advisor they rely on to make sense of their own buildings.
Which naturally brings us to the most important question for any business owner: monetization. If you own this super sticky relationship and you have all this granular data, how exactly do you monetize it?
Well, this is where we get into the services arsenal. There is a diverse array of high-margin services you can actually sell based on this data.
Yeah, the research highlights a few massive ones. Let's start with energy and reporting services. I mean, anyone who has dealt with building certifications like LEED or BOMA Best knows it is a nightmare of manual data collection.
It takes months. But with circuit-level data, partners can turn those months of agonizing spreadsheet work into single-click reports.
That alone is huge. But the real game changer is demand management and incentives, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The research notes that peak demand charges can represent a staggering 30% to 70% of a facility's entire electricity bill.
Wait, up to 70%?
Yeah.
Just from peak demand?
Yeah, because utilities charge a massive premium based on your highest spike in energy use. So if you can actively help customers shave off those peak charges, the savings are immediate and massive.
And then you help them claim utility rebates on top of that.
Exactly. And because CircuitMeter provides the lowest cost per point in the industry, you have a massive pricing advantage.
Because the hardware is so cost-effective, you can win the competitive bids but still keep your consulting margins incredibly strong.
It reminds me of, it's like buying gym equipment versus hiring a high-end personal trainer.
Okay, I like that. How do you mean?
Well, the facility has the equipment, right? They have the WebMeter 48. But you, the channel partner, you are the elite personal trainer. You charge to actually analyze the data, correct their inefficiencies, and make sure the client actually sees the financial results on their monthly bill.
That's a great way to look at it. And global industry research constantly highlights that the ability to analyze vast amounts of data is what actually maximizes those cost savings and optimizes operations.
Right. The data alone doesn't save money. The action does.
Exactly. And by setting your own rates for those insights, you scale your revenue without having to scale a massive internal sales team or engineering department. You have multiple revenue streams, upfront project fees, ongoing retainers, verification services, report preparation. It's a total recurring revenue engine. But once a partner has optimized a single facility, where do they go next? Because the beauty of this platform is that it serves as a foundational layer for cross-industry expansion.
It does. The exact same effort required to serve one building scale seamlessly to 200 buildings because it's a cloud-delivered platform.
So you can expand from commercial real estate right into industrial manufacturing plants or data centers or municipal infrastructure, all using the exact same interface. So a partner sitting in London can manage a portfolio that spans New York, Tokyo, and Berlin.
The workflow doesn't change, but the services you offer can become much more advanced. That verified circuit-level energy data acts as the engine for high-level tech deployments.
Like what kind of deployments?
Things like digital twin intelligence, data center infrastructure management, or DCIM building automation enhancements, even planning out EV charging infrastructure.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Agentic AI. I mean, AI is everywhere right now, but how does an energy submeter feed autonomous AI?
It's the most critical piece of the puzzle. Agentic AI agents absolutely depend on trustworthy, real-time data to make autonomous decisions. They can't manage a building based on a utility bill from last month.
Right, that's like trying to drive by looking in the rearview mirror.
Exactly. They need granular, real-time, verified circuit data. By providing that data, you elevate your status from just being an energy consultant to being a crucial technology integrator.
You're the one validating the savings and enabling their entire digital transformation across a global portfolio.
You become indispensable to their future tech stack.
That is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Well, we are coming up on our time, so I want to quickly recap the core takeaways for you, the listener. CircuitMeter really empowers channel partners with the scalable infrastructure and that low-friction operational efficiency you need to build a high-margin service business.
Yeah. If you are a consultant, an integrator, or a reseller, this platform is basically your blueprint to move beyond those single transactions and build lasting, recurring revenue relationships. And in a competitive landscape, the partners who harness granular data to provide actionable bundled services are inevitably going to outpace the guys who are just trying to sell a piece of hardware.
Without a doubt. And I want to leave you with a final lingering question to chew on. As physical buildings increasingly rely on this real-time circuit-level data to feed autonomous AI and digital twins, what happens to the traditional consulting firms? The ones still relying on monthly, backwards-looking utility bills to advise their clients.
It's a tough spot to be in.
It really is. Will businesses that fail to adopt this level of granular intelligence even survive the next 5 years of digital transformation? Something to think about.
And that's it for this episode of CircuitMeter Insights. We hope this discussion has powered up your understanding of how smart analytics, real-time data, and cutting-edge efficiency are transforming the energy landscape and driving the future of sustainability forward.